I kind of wanted to get off the road, so because I was starting a family, and with Abacus, it kind of came together, I don't know, midpoint of last year. Well, Rice and Abacus had joined the Silver Crown side, so we were doing that, and then I started going, to the midget races with these guys, I don't know, halfway through the year. And towards the end of the year, I got, caught wind that they were going to, start the sprint car stuff, and with as much as we got going on, like they needed another guy. So I talked my wife into it, and had an interview with Brent, and next thing you know, we were doing sprint car and Silver Crown stuff. I never thought I'd drive a race car, so to be able to win a championship, let alone as many as I did on the West Coast, like that was special to me. But also working on a race car that somebody else drives, where I know it kind of takes both aspects. You need a driver that gives you good feedback, and the equipment to be able to put a good car on the track. So I think like being the guy recognized as like USAC's mechanic of the year was special to me, like especially with as long as my family's been around, on both sides. So I can't really compare them, but like I said at the banquet, I think being like a mechanic of the year is a lot cooler than being a race car driver that won a championship. Like I said, my dad's side of the family goes all the way back to the 30s with my great uncle Chet. He ran sprint cars and Indy cars back in the late 20s, early 30s. And then on my mom's side, my grandfather, who I'm named after, ran Indy in the 60s. He ran the Indy 500, I think, 5 or 6 times. And then back on my dad's side of the family, my grandpa on that side was California Racing Associate champion in 54, 55. And then his sons, which my dad and my uncles, ran sprint cars in the late 70s through the 80s, through the 90s, even into the 2000s, So I got racing on it on both sides of the family. I'm like 4th or 5th generation. Growing up, like Brad Nossinger was one of the big ones because he had so much success with my family in the CRA days, and then like kind of growing up, though he was like a rival driver to like my family team, I always looked up to Corey Kruzbeck. Like he was like the guy to beat for so long. So like those are a couple of the guys. There's a lot of them. Ricky Gaunt he was super cool to me, and like Brad Marvel. My dad worked for Brad Marvel in the early 90s out here when I actually lived here as a little kid. So going to the races with them when I was like 7, 8 years old, like that was always cool. And Brad and his family are still friends to this day. First time I drove a race car of any kind was I was 20 years old. It was in 2008. It was a 410 sprint car because that's what my dad had. So he told me if I wanted to learn, that's what we had, that's what we were going to do. It took a long time to get up to speed because I had obviously no experience in any type of race car. I guess if you did this for long enough and didn't have any success, it would burn you out pretty quick.
That would be good.
So that, and I mean, I don't know anything different. Like this has been my life since I can remember. Going to the racetrack on the weekends, like we never had a boat, we never went camping, we didn't go to the river, like this was our family time, was the racetrack. And I'm lucky to have a wife that likes to go to it too, and is able to go with me to every race.